This news update is brought to you by...
Say hello to Carol. Carol talks for a living, from morning till night. So she relies on Flo's crystal clear home phone service brought to her through Flo's 100% fiber to the home network. It keeps her in the know, and because she bundles her mobile broadband and TV services, she enjoys huge savings, so she can enjoy much more for much less. So visit any Flo retail outlet, call 1-800-804-2994, or visit discoverflow.co to find out more. One-of-a-kind connection. This is how we flow.
This is the Barbados Today evening news update for Monday, June 27th. Thank you for joining us. I am Mary-Claire Williams. Education Minister Ronald Jones is at this hour meeting behind closed doors with teachers. The talks are being held at the Samuel Jackman Prescott Polytechnic. The teachers have been requesting an audience with the Education Minister to air a number of concerns, including recent reports of attacks against them by students. In other news this evening, members of the Caribbean Postal Union have been warned that they risk becoming obsolete if they do not diversify their offerings. The warning came from the Acting Home Affairs Minister, Michael Lashley, in his address to their 19th annual conference this morning. He told officers they need to do more to attract younger customers, as all their current services are now available elsewhere in the private sector.
Your competitive advantage, however, is that your network covers the urban areas as well as the rural districts, where in many instances the post office is the only institution of its kind. In Barbados, for example, where there are 11 parishes, I don't want to say that St. Philip is the best, but there are no commercial banks operating in 5 of those parishes. However, there's a postal presence in all 11. I may add that with 1 or 2 exceptions, the quality of the facilities is of a very high standard. Of course, I am mindful that good facilities on their own will not attract the young demographic to postal countries. However, services and products which are attractive to the youth could make a significant difference.
The Pic-O-De-Crop semifinals is returning to the National Stadium for the first time in nearly 10 years. And the producer of the event told a news conference this morning that the show, dubbed a Kaiso Lime, promises to take patrons back in time, and it will be held on July 15.
As part of the process of revitalizing Pic-O-De-Crop, the semifinals this year will be at the National Stadium, so it's going back home. It's going back to its home. And as you know, the event usually starts at 7 o'clock, but this event this year will be at 5. We'll be opening doors at 5 p.m. It's a line, it is a KSO line, so those of you don't go home after work. You leave work and you rush straight in the National Stadium.
A St. Michael man is awaiting surgery at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital for several injuries sustained in an accident yesterday afternoon. Police say Radcliffe Bostic of Upper Station Hill was traveling along Bruceville Road in St. Andrew when he lost control of the lorry he was driving. The vehicle went over a side of a bridge and plunged 19 feet. Bostic sustained multiple fractures on the left side of his chest, and his right lung has collapsed. The vehicle was also extensively damaged. And tributes are continuing to pour in for the late novelist and author Austin Tom Clarke, who died in Canada on the weekend. Clarke is regarded as one of the pioneers of West Indian literature. The celebrated novelist and poet George Lamming described him as a very fine writer who left some remarkable work. He added that Clarke was the exception in that he migrated to Toronto when all other prominent regional writers migrated to London. Former lecturer in literature and English at the Barbados Community College, Esther Phillips, says the region has lost an iconic literary figure, one who paved the way for new West Indian writers. And Dr. Andrew Armstrong, lecturer in English at the UWI Cave Hill campus, says Clarke's writing displayed the skill and wit of a social realist, a storyteller and raconteur who knew how to spin his yarn.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
I love it. I love it. I give in your sweetness. Hey, it's your girl Azizi, the Barbados Today Crop Over Superstar 2015. The competition is even more exciting this year. There'll be 3 champions,
the Public World Tuesday Junior, Soca Royale, and Pic-O-De-Crop champion. So here's how it works. Go to our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Barbados Today to fill out your competition form. 2. Upload your video with your song to Barbados Today's Facebook page. 3. Make sure you invite all your friends and family to vote for you. The contestant with the most votes by the end of their competition will be crowned champion. I gave you your sweetness. I know you like sweetness. All of this is sweetness.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
In news from the region, the United States has called on legislators in Haiti to fulfill their responsibilities tomorrow by voting to decide whether or not the interim president, Jacqueline Prévert, remains in power. Prévert should have demitted office on June 14th, and the president of the Chamber of Deputies and the vice president of the Senate have signed the official note reconvening the National Assembly, which was adjourned last Tuesday due to violence. Prévert came to office in February after President Michel Martelly stepped down without a successor. Under the terms of his appointment, he was due to serve as interim president for 4 months, and an election should have been held on April 24th. But the election has not been called and is expected in October this year. A major drug bust in the Bahamas over the weekend. Lawmen seized over 1,000 pounds of marijuana at a private residence valued at approximately $1.4 million. We get more in this report from ZNS Network News.
In a quiet neighborhood just off the Tonic-Williams-Darling Highway, an attractive 3-story home was the apparent storage unit for a major drug supplier. Officers from the Drug Enforcement Unit, led by Chief Superintendent Samuel Butler, converged on the suspected drug house around 9 o'clock Sunday morning.
We have 2 Bahamian males in custody, aged 41 and 34.
Police immediately combed the house for the suspected drugs, saying they found 1,389 pounds of marijuana, estimated at $1.4 million, in an air-conditioned room in the garage area. We're told that the suspects are no strangers to the law.
These persons are known to the criminal justice system, and so therefore they are a target in our network of intelligence netting. And again, based on what we have done in our intelligence arena, we are successful today. We are certainly looking forward of widening our net in terms of our investigations and bringing more persons into custody based on our intelligence.
A place set in the yard suggests that children may have lived here at some time, but with that amount of drugs found, this was not a child-friendly environment.
On the international scene, the European Union says it will not hold informal talks with the UK until it triggers Article 50 to leave. German Chancellor Angela Merkel has met with the French President François Hollande and the Italian Prime Minister Matteo Renzi in Berlin on the heels of last Thursday's Brexit vote. British citizens voted in favor of leaving the EU in an historic referendum. Markets remained volatile today in the wake of the vote, with the pound plunging to a 31-year low against the US dollar. And together with the UK, Germany, France and Italy have the largest economies in the EU. Meanwhile, Prime Minister David Cameron told the House of Commons this morning that the Leave vote must be accepted.
I am clear, and the Cabinet agreed this morning, that the decision must be accepted and the process of implementing the decision in the best possible way must now begin. At the same time, Mr. Speaker, we have a fundamental responsibility to bring our country together. In the past few days, we've seen despicable graffiti daubed on a Polish community centre, We've seen verbal abuse hurled against individuals because they're members of ethnic minorities. Let's remember these people have come here and made a wonderful contribution to our country. We will not stand for hate crime or these kinds of attacks. They must be stamped out. Mr. Speaker, we can reassure European citizens living here and Brits living in European countries that there will be no immediate changes in their circumstances. Neither will there be any initial change in the way our people can travel, in the way our goods can move, or the way our services can be sold.
And that's the news this evening. Remember, there's more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also tune into Channel 99 on Flow TV or Mix 96.9 FM for more news. I am Marie Claire Williams. Good evening.